Locky Late Night. Been a minute, but felt it was necessary for all the fight announcements that have been dropped over the last 24 hours. What I decided to do is actually go back on my guy Big Marcel's Twitter timeline and go back to August 6th and just go back from there and work our way to the most recent fight announcements. But a lot to digest with a lot of the matches that were put together. And I just felt like I wanted to air out my thoughts almost immediately on these spots. Again, not looking to make a prediction per se, maybe an early lean, early pre-tape lean or something like that. Maybe that's something I could do. But yeah, just there's some fights that I just have some quick thoughts on right off the rip that I want to share with. So if anybody isn't here, appreciate you guys hanging out. Would love to hear your thoughts on those matchups as well as I get through the spots. All right. So first of which is Ricky Tercios versus Kevin Natividad. That's going down on November 19th. I'm assuming it's an Apex event. I'm not 100% sure yet. Very weird performance from Tercios last time, right? Fucking fighting air the whole time. uh, Kevin Natividad, a guy that I can't really get a beat on, but at least he strikes with conviction. So probably lean Natividad there, but should be a fun fight. Both guys usually bring it. That is whenever uh, Ricky Tercios actually hits his opponents. That's the important part. So yeah, decent fight there to kick off some of the fight announcements. Let me just keep on scrolling here. Cody Garbrandt versus Hani Yaya is now rebooked for October 1st. So that's just about 2 months away. Very weird fight, right? We're getting to a point now where we can't get or give Cody Garbrandt anybody that has knockout power. It would be hilarious if Hani Yaya went out there and actually landed the big strike himself. Got him out of there. Let's see. There's a couple other fights here. Ooh, some daggy on daggy violence. We got Abubakar Nurmagomedov going up against Gadzi Omar Gadziev at UFC 280. That's obviously the Abu Dhabi pay-per-view. Funny fight there. Maybe I think they want Nurmagomedov to, you know, expose Gadzi even more as a fellow Dagestani. Weird matchup, but not often do you see some doggy on doggy violence. Aaron Pico fighting Jeremy Kennedy in April, and Juan Archuleta taking on Enrique Barzola. Both of those fights taking place on October 1st. Fun fight, fun fight. Um, Fun both fights, right? We get to see where Jeremy Kennedy really is. Aaron Pico, is he on that march back up to being of the potential that we expected him to be? And then Juan Archuleta and Enrique Barzola. Interested to see how those grappling exchanges pan out. Let's keep rolling through his timeline here. Next up is this one caught me by surprise. I think they announced it on the Contender Series show itself on Tuesday, but Clayton Rodriguez going up against Vinicius Salvador. Gotta lean Clayton pretty heavily there, as I think he could take advantage of the grappling that Shannon Ross was not able to take advantage of. But even on the feet, he should be good enough to deal with Salvador. I'm expecting some hype to be on Salvador because of that performance against Shannon Ross, but I think that will get return to base, a return to reality on why Vinicius Mejia was actually, or sorry, Vinicius Salvador was a plus 250 underdog or plus 200 underdog, whatever he was, to Shannon Ross in the first place. Don't ever get caught up in the quick recency bias of things. And obviously, paired that with Clayton Rodriguez's poor last performance against CJ Vergara, we were bound to get a good number on Clayton, which I'll likely be taking a shot on. Obviously, got to run the tape right, but pre-tape, that's kind of what I feel. Obviously, the UFC announced it going back to Rio de Janeiro, January 21st, 2023. So that should be cool. 4 months away, 5 months away of that. Roman Dolidze going up against Phil Hawes, UFC event on October 29th. Very weird matchup there. Don't know how I'd go about it. Maybe lean Phil Hawes there just based off of willingness to go out there and do shit. But Roman Dolidze had some big power in his hands, as we were reminded last time against Kaldakis. So, and he is a guy that will bite down on the mouthpiece and go for it. So, if he's able to survive that early onslaught from Phil Hawes, he could potentially find that KO a little bit later. So, I'm not sold on this Phil Hawes 2.0 that everybody kept talking about after he beat Nasruddin Imavov and Kaldakis. This is a fun one. This is what I'm looking to tackle from a betting perspective because I'm hoping and thinking we're going to get a damn good line on the underdog here. Tagira Ulanbekov against Nate Maness. If there's anything that we've learned about Tagira Ulanbekov is that he is not like the other Dagestanis. He's good. He'll have his success, but he's not as good in terms of controlling guys and keeping them on the mat. I think Nate Maness has shown he has great get-ups, great ability to stuff takedowns, and then be the better striker, which he'll likely be in this spot, and could potentially knock out Tagir Ulanbekov later on in this fight. So, yeah, but the other thing to wonder here is Nate Maness moving down to 125 pounds. That could be very iffy in its own right. This one came out of left field as well as Hikaru Hamosh against Danny Henry, taking place at UFC Paris. That fight's only less than a month away. Crazy that it's getting announced to this point. Um, yeah. Let's just see what the chat is saying. I pretty much ran through that. Um, William Hagmeister saying, "What did I just miss? I just started 6 minutes ago, so didn't miss much." Chronic combat. Sorry, fuck. Chronic combat conversations in the chat. Shout out to them. Josh Ruffrick saying, "Oh, Lock, when are you hiring me as an assistant?" I should get assistant at this point in time. Eric Axel saying Natividad is still in the UFC. I know he got stars by a couple beasts, but thought he was done. Nope, he is definitely still hanging around. Green King 220 saying, yes, I'm catching a Locky Late Night. And just because of that name, that username, it should be Green King 420 to begin with. I might as well take another hit from the pen. Shout out to you as well. Chronic Combat Conversations saying can put it past yeah, though he swings hard because he's not worried about being taken down. Exactly. That is absolutely in play here. What's Cody going to do? Is he just going to dance around on the outside and try to outbox him? He could, but there is a certain point that Hani Yaya will eventually land on him unless he puts Yaya's lights out, which is absolutely live. All I'm saying is don't get caught up on the chalk that will possibly be on the Cody Garbrandt side. Maybe look at fight doesn't go to decision if that's at a good enough price tag. William Hagmeister saying, how did you score Moreno versus Kai unbiased until the stoppage? 2018 Moreno, 2018 Kai, and 1818 were official. I think you mean 1919 was official. Round one could have gone either way. Round two, I had Moreno. Round three, Moreno was taken over, although the biggest damage was done by Kai that round. If Moreno went on to continue to just touch him up for that round, but not finish him, I think there's a conversation that we could give him that round. You know what I mean? I know he got cut pretty bad by that elbow, but like that was really the biggest shot that Kai landed that round. So, or at least from what I remember. Crazy that we're still talking about that fight and the next pay-per-view is just about to happen. Rexley saying you are a machine man, Preet. Yes, I am. I got a bunch of other things I should be doing in terms of entering Lock of the Night and Dog of the Night challenge bets and updating the standings and all that stuff. But I just wanted to talk about these matchups and then answer the live chat as well. Green King 220 saying crazy that Ross had appendicitis. Socrates in the chat saying Locky Late Night. You know what it is. Socrates, you should be coming out to those 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern live chats that I do now Monday through Thursday. Think you'd enjoy that if you're able to squeeze that in. Paizo DFS saying, damn lucky putting that work today, man. Hey, when there's shit to be talked about, might as well talk about it. Asher Quinn, Locky Late Night, baby. Appreciate you stopping by. I appreciate you signing up for the Patreon as well, my friend. I saw you jump in there and you got a warm welcome from everybody as well. Not to mention my guy Mahashate. William Hagmeister saying Tagir should not be a favorite versus Menez. Do they have a line? They do not have a line yet. It just got announced today. Socrates saying Strickland to where? We shall talk about that very shortly. Green King saying UFC Paris card is a banger. I gotta go back and look at that. Detective Allen saying, damn, that shit look fancy. It's not that fancy. Joshua saying, Lock, do you get your stuff in Canada or some other way? In Canada. I just do it from the dispensaries. Ben Peak in the chat. Wowie. Wasn't expecting to see that name there. Green King 220 saying someone had Green King 420, greenery in the air. Most stuff. There you go. Now it makes sense. You should put 2 plus 220 or some shit like that. Asher Quinn saying I'm from New Zealand and I had a 2018 Moreno. Let's go. Problem kid in the chat, 2018 Moreno. You already know. Again, round one, very close. Detective Allen saying these Locky Late Nights are so great for smoke sessions. That was the whole point behind doing them. To give you guys a little bit of insight, I originally was going to do something called the post-fight sesh conference. I had graphics and everything made up for it. And it was going to be as soon as the fights wrapped up, I would go burn, come back, sit down, digest it, talk to you guys. Then it just transformed or never really took off as the post-fight sesh conference. It ended up being Locky Late Night. So that's what I've been doing every now and then with Locky Late Night. Joshua Frick saying they should make Cody fight Sam Alvey. That's hilarious. Socrates saying, I'll start an alarm. Love getting these live. Yes, sir. 4 p.m. to 5 p.m., Monday to Thursday. Get your ass in there, my friend. Chronic Combat Conversation saying, how about my poor guy, Charlie Campbell? That was rough. Talk about getting smoked. Dude, he was smoking Chris Duncan until he eventually got hit with that big counter there. But I hope they bring him back soon as well, man. Give him a shot on the last episode of the season or something. But he was making a case for himself. Got a little bit too lackadaisical. Vinny G in the chat. Shout out Lock, best in the game. Appreciate the love, my friend. Long time no speak. Hope all is well. Ben Peak saying, hope you're doing well, bro. Likewise, just got home from work. Oh, yeah, working that late night shift. I hear you. William Hagmeister saying, yes, 1919. I meant long day. I feel like the judges were on their way to giving Kai the decision. I had Moreno 1-2. I gave Kai round 3, but was getting nervous as I had my third heaviest bet of my life on Moreno. I think Moreno would have just turned it back on in rounds 4 and 5. Like, I don't think that damage under his eye was going to affect him too much. But I'm glad that he got to finish that when he did, because yes, I did have some pretty big money on that as well. All right, let's get back to the fight announcements. The last one I was talking about was Ricardo Ramos against Danny Henry. Danny Henry making a return since I think the last time he fought was July 2020. So he's been out of the cage for a while, but I think that it is a horrible matchup for him. And I think we're going to get Ricardo Ramos at heavy favorite odds in that spot. Tony Gravely versus Javid Basharat is an interesting one. That's taking place on September 17th. I like Javid. Like, I like the kid style. I like his striking style. Tony Gravely will likely be able to just grapple him through the mat here. But should this fight remain in the stand-up realm, Tony Gravely could get touched up and finished. So be wary of the chalk that you'll likely be paying on Tony Gravely, but Gravely definitely wins that fight. Eric Anders and Kyle Dawkins. This one's a weird one. And it's actually being announced for December 3rd. I think that's the latest that they actually have a fight actually announced for. And very weird matchup there, right? Both guys kind of just middling in that middleweight division at this point in time. Tough fight to call there. This one I'm kind of excited about, and it's a nerd play, right? It's a nerd fight, MMA nerd, diehard, sucking the UFC's balls kind of thing in terms of being excited about this type of matchup. Let me just take a quick sip and I'll let you guys know what it is. Christian Rodriguez against Garrett Armfield. Now, both of these guys came in short notice, up a weight class. At least I believe this fight is taking place or should be taking place at 135. The first comment under that was Sorry, I just got sucked into this conversation. The first comment under this Christian Rodriguez versus Garrett Armfield fight is a guy saying, "I suggest reserving, alarm light emoji, breaking alarm light emoji for big fights." That's what he's saying for this. But breaking in Marcel Dorf's opinion is him. This is the first time somebody is hearing about this fight. I'm the one breaking this news. That's what he means. But I still think it's worth the breaking thing because I think it's a great fight from a hardcore nerds perspective. It's going down October 29th. But Christian Rodriguez came in on short notice. Sorry, what I was actually trying to figure out was what weight class this fight was going to be at. Let me just answer or reply to Marcel here. Oh, I am way too high. The fight will be at 135 pounds. So yeah, they came in on short notice up a weight class. Christian Rodriguez came in first, went up against Jonathan Pierce, gave him a hell of a fight, even though Jonathan Pierce was like a minus 400 favorite that night. That kid has left Rufus Sport, which is pretty much falling apart at this point in time. And now he's aligning with the guys down there at the MMA lab. And I think at Siege MMA as well. But sorry, not the MMA lab, Fight Ready. He's over there at Fight Ready. This kid is talented. This kid is legitimately talented. Go back and watch this guy's fights. Even in his amateur days, you see the things that he does right. Great striker, solid wrestler, solid grappler. The guy has it all. His only loss, that Jonathan Pierce fight. Garrett Armfield, on the other hand, 8-3, made his short notice debut against David Onama, which was a rematch, right? He gave him a little bit to handle there, right? I don't think that we can say that David Onama truly looked minus 600 in that spot. But I think Garrett Armfield has a couple solid wins coming his way in the UFC. But I think higher of Christian Rodriguez. Again, this fight is going down October 29th. I'm very excited for it to see these two guys going up against each other, but it's more so because I'm hyped on Christian Rodriguez. I think that kid is going to be the truth. Like, I think if his development keeps up with how good he is at this point in time, like, guys, he is, let me get his age here real quick because I know he's young as fuck. Um, Christian Rodriguez is born in 1997. So is that 25? He'll be 25 in December. He's 24 right now. Still very young. So yeah, I think that's a great fight, and I think Christian Rodriguez is a big future. My guy Arjun Buller, heavyweight champion over at ONE FC, taking on the interim champion, I believe, in Anatoly Malikin. I'll never forgive my guy Buller for giving up that omoplata choke to Adam Wizardchek. Good God. Yuck. Mana Martinez against Brandon Davis fights on October 15th. Brandon Davis, for some reason, in the picture that Marcel Dorf used, kind of looks like Tony Kelly on like a quick glance. Very trippy. That fight should be fun. Mana Martinez always brings the fireworks. So does Brandon Davis. Don't really know which way to lean on that fight, but very excited about it. Should be a barn burner. Armin Petrosian versus AJ Dobson. Great fight. It's going to be tough for Petrosian considering he has almost no takedown defense. He has got to be the one guy in the world who has dog shit takedown defense, but amazing submission defense and solid enough get ups. I like Petrosian. I think he could touch up Dobson in the spot, but going to be tough. That's going down at UFC 280, another banger of a card. And then this is the last one that I wanted to address. This is the one that kind of pushed me over to be like, okay, I want to talk to people about this. I want to talk about this fight. Per Khabib Nurmagomedov in Eagle FC, Patricky Pitbull is scheduled to defend his title against Usman Nurmagomedov on November 18th. So Usman finally gets that push to the top to fight a guy like Patricky Pitbull. Big fight there. Usman will get to see if he can finally get that title, hold on to it. But I think that's a big, big fight. All right, let's see what else the chat is saying here as I was going on my rant. Dar Valdez saying Bashrat versus Gravely, looking for a nice price on Bashrat. If they give me good enough odds, I'll take the shot, but I think he's going to get grappled into the ground. Oh, yeah. Thank you, William Hagmeister. Strickland versus Killer Gorilla. That just got announced as well. If there were any other ones that I missed, please do drop it in the chat, and I'll be sure to touch on them. But I was just going by what, what's his face, Marcel posted on his Twitter. But yes, that is one that I saw as well. I think Brett Okamoto tweeted it out. Or sorry, Ariel tweeted it out. No deal done yet, but October 15th, I believe that's going to be the main event. I'm looking forward to the number that we're going to get on Sean Strickland because I am absolutely certain. And I think, out of the 19 of you guys that are currently in here, maybe 11 to 12 of you believe that Killer Gorilla is going to go out there and knock out Strickland. That should give me the underdog price that I want to see on Strickland. I don't know if we'll get it. I think we'll get closer odds than we should because of the Alex Pereira KO and the potential that Cannonier can knock out Strickland. But I will play Strickland at anything better than minus 170 to minus 200 maybe. But I think minus 200 would be a little wild. Maybe minus 170-ish. Socrates F saying would love to see Campbell back, and Edgar Chairez is a bad dude too. Love to see them sign or maybe get called up. Maybe they would get like a short notice spot. Dana even expressed his interest in Edgar Chairez while complimenting Clayton Carpenter. It looked like he was complimenting Edgar more than he was Clayton, even though he ended up signing Clayton. But yeah, I agree. And yeah, Campbell would be dope to see in there as well. Dacus by decision. Hagmeister is saying 20 cost me some cash minus 200. Smack my head. Got KO'd. Can't remember who it was against. Yes, I think I got caught on that fight too. Let me just quickly pull that up because it's going to kill me if I don't figure it out. Nate Maness. That was the one. Nate Maness knocked him out. The aforementioned Nate Maness. Brett Johns eventually drowned him and choked him out as well. Detective Allen saying Strickland chin is going to be sus with that turnaround. See, that's all I need. I just need that narrative to be spread to give me a good enough price to take the shot on Strickland. William saying I'll take Javid as I can get minus 150 and below. I think you'll get him at underdog odds for sure. William saying the kid who got his fight canceled was that Javid's brother. Yes, it was. Farhead. I don't remember. Fareed. Don't remember what his name was. Problem Kid saying Gravely is a monster. Be careful playing overhyped talent off Dana White Contender Series. I agree. It's just that gas tank of Gravely that's a little bit suspect, right? His wrestling and his jiu-jitsu, some of the best in that division, but should he not be able to get fights to the ground, he's going to get wrecked. I think we might be overplaying the Nate Maness fight a little bit too much in our heads, right? The Simon Oliveira fight, Oliveira was dangerous on the feet. He managed to get away with that one. So Nate Maness has really been the only guy that's been stopping the takedowns of Gravely and then finishing him on the feet. Not many guys are capable of doing that. Not sure if Javid will be able to either. Green King saying, I real curious how Adesanya versus Pereira goes at MSG. Yes, that is November as well. Big fight there. Big fight. Can't wait to see that one. DFS Whispers in the chat. Appreciate you stopping by. Asher Quinn saying, just finished your logcast while doing some uni readings. Great background stuff to help me focus. I'm about to push the cruise agenda so hard to my flatmates when I get home. Let's go. Just my F4 saying marijuana is like this guy's whole personality. Perfect. Probably some cringy 420 high time shirts in his closet. Aw. We got a troll in here. Yeah, whatever. Is marijuana really my whole personality? Detective Allen saying the fuck you want about. There's just people that just want to come in and be dumbasses and idiots and just haters for no fucking reason. Ugh, hilarious. That's what happens when you get a following. Detective Allen saying I'm pretty low on both Dobson and Petrosian. Not gonna lie, I'm decently high on Petrosian, but that takedown defense is so hard to overlook. Williams saying you see PFL offer to Kayla Harrison versus Cyborg 1 million each for purse 2 million win bonus. Wow, see if it gets done. They can easily do a co-promo fight. Why not? Paizo DFS saying Usman Nurmagomedov is such a great name. Like, how do you pick against a guy with that name? I agree. Asia McKee is going against my guy Spike Carlos. Such a random fight, right? Not only is he going up in weight, but to fight Spike Carlisle out of all people, jeez. Problem Kid saying Strickland for the dub. I agree. Wendy Willis saying Lock, please tell me you don't got Cruz in the main event. I absolutely do, and for a good amount of money. You can watch all my other podcasts I did this week talking about that fight. I feel pooped from talking about that fight. Wendy Willis, oh, sorry, already did that one. Detective Allen saying, now we all cruise shields around here. Easy decision. Let's go. Andrew Marchenko saying, here we go. Finally, I am able to catch you live. What's happening, Lock? Nothing much, my friend. I was just going over all the new fight announcements that dropped over the last 4 days. I was just a little bit too excited about them that I just felt like I needed to talk to you guys. Green King saying, I like that kid, Clayton style. Need to work on stand up D, but could bring something to flyweight. I do. His striking is good. I just think that Edgar was just that much better than him. His striking is solid, but he gets his best work done on the ground. Ah, all right, Wendy Willis. I love you. I don't want to keep talking about that fight. I've talked about it too much this week. Alex Weber saying, how confident are you that Strickland is the favorite? He has a very winning style, and usually the market is in his favor, right? Like, this fight against Jerry Cannonier, he's a middling guy that we know is never gonna touch gold, right? Obviously, he got his title shot, but that was just based on circumstances. Strickland could have gotten a title shot, but I think they really wanted to prop up Alex Pereira with a solid stylistic matchup. I don't know. I think Strickland should be the favorite. Ben Peake saying Sean Strickland is dead to me because he didn't wrestle like he should have. Don't get the concept of proving a point because you could have gotten a title shot if he would have just done his job. I think it was also the threat of closing the distance against a guy like Pereira that scared off Sean Strickland from shooting, as you know, like people expect him to shoot within the first 10 minutes or 10 seconds. But like I'm sure Alex Pereira was anticipating that and would have had like an uppercut ready or a knee ready or something like that. And I think Sean Strickland knew that as well. I think that he believed that he needed to strike for a little bit to eventually open up that takedown opportunity, but he couldn't get any shots off, man. He was eating it from distance already. So we got to give Alex Pereira a little bit more credit than that narrative that I've been seeing. Um, Again, not attacking you, Ben, by any means, but I've seen that narrative a lot, obviously, since that fight. Alex Weber saying I thought Strickland would be plus money. Bro, I hope Strickland is plus money. Let's put it that way. Asher Quinn saying I'm looking forward to making a lot of money betting on Adesanya. Yeah, his odds are not that bad. Detective Allen saying, I like Strickland's style a lot, actually, but bro was sparring 2 weeks after Fisher's KO. The guy does not give a fuck. The guy does not going to give a fuck. Wendy Willis saying he's going to bet the whole bankroll on Vera. Yeesh, good luck. Socrates saying, I didn't realize Cub is going down to 135 pounds. That's a fun fight. Who's he fighting again? Remind me. Remind me who Cub Swanson's fighting again. Oh, yeah, Jonathan Martinez. That's a fun fight. Big test spot for Jonathan Martinez as well. Wendy Willis loves Chito Vera. Good luck, my friend. No time saying you're a solid dude. Keeping yourself in all fight anyone who don't like you. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Appreciate the love as always from my guys. Usman Anjum saying Usman's run MMA. Matt Rush saying thoughts on Jacoby versus Roundtree. Initial lean is Jacoby. I'll likely stick with that. I'm interested to see what the odds are going to be though. Paizo saying Reese, Spike Carlisle, yeah, weird fight for sure. Big step down for McKee after that rematch. Miss Spike in UFC. Think he has a great character to have on the roster. I agree. I'm kind of surprised that they let him go. The guy's fun. Wendy Willis is saying my head is going to explode when Cheetah wins. Then you won't be around to gloat about that victory. Joshua Frick saying, "Do you think John Jones has any ring rust when he comes back?" He probably is, but if you're giving me underdog money on him at all, got to take a shot on him. He's the GOAT, no matter who he fights. Andrew Marchenko saying, "Do we have any interesting opening lines worth of mentioning for these new matchups?" No, there are no odds that I'm seeing out, nor do they usually drop them this early or especially that quickly after a fight is announced. Same card as Killer Gorilla and Strickland Cub versus Martinez. That's already a great fight card. Green King saying Bangkok ready. Khalil, I call him Tyleel. I like that matchup, but should be Jacoby. Yes, I like Jacoby as well. Yeah, Martinez and Cub was announced, I'd say a week or two ago. Problem Kid saying way too much experience for Cub. Martinez gets schooled. Interesting. I don't know about that. Martinez is a high level kid too. Abu Dhabi saying Goldsov, Umalatov, Benitez parlay plus 120. What do you think? There are many other spots on this UFC card to parlay than Benitez. Benitez might get knocked the fuck out early in this fight. You know, you could go with Godinez, you could go with Budai, you could go with violence bets as well in the Bruno Silva fight. You could go with violence in the what's that? Benitez fight. You can take violence there as well. Plenty of better spots than parlaying Benitez, in my opinion. Excuse me. All right. I don't want to keep this too long. I just wanted to go over the fight announcements. Appreciate everybody that came out for it. Again, this is my fourth stream that I'm doing today. Yeah, I mean, this I'm going deep today. So I've done maybe 4.5 hours of content sitting in this chair today. Appreciate everybody coming through for the Locky Late Night. I will be back tomorrow for 2 shows. One, MMA Lock Talk at 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern, where we pretty much just do this, talk to the chat and communicate with you guys. So come through with that one if you guys want to. And then secondly, right after that, I'm rolling right into propping you up with Cody at 5 p.m. Eastern over on the All-Star. So busy day tomorrow, but I might as well finish up what I need to do tonight and get some sleep and get right back to work tomorrow. All right. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Have a good night, and I will see you tomorrow.